Hello, welcome to on this Saturday edition. And as you know, Saturdays are special, and we discuss about many various aspects from the history. So today also we are joined by Mrs. Meeta Joshi, who is Associated Symbiosis Hyderabad. So before actually start this communication, let me welcome her. So Meeta ji, how are you doing today? And how things are today, and how things will work out today, because we are discussing a very special topic today.
Namaskar Kanchan, I am fine. What about you?
As you know that farmers are sometimes always, actually not sometimes, that they are the backbone of any country development, and because they are the food raisers, and we are dependent on this. But when we talk about peasant uprising, when we talk about independence movement, it has a crucial aspect, crucial role which associated with independence movement of India. So let's discuss about it and how you want to really put forward this topic in a way, because that is also presently also we have lot of unrest, and there are many things which is happening as we know about the peasant and farmers. So over to you, ma'am.
See, when we talk about the peasant uprising in the 1930s and 40s, there is like a history behind it, and that is the land revenue new acts and rules which the British government made that time made the peasants helpless. Why? Because they had to pay very heavy taxes, number one. Number two, the revenue was very high. Number three, because of few policies of the British government, the handicraft people suffered very much. So they lost their jobs, and they also came towards agriculture, and they started working in the fields and in the farms. So in the 1930s, what happened? There was an awakening among the peasants. And why was that? There was a big economic depression in 1929 and 1930 all around the world, and India was also, included in it. And in the depression, the prices of the agricultural products, they fell down very drastically, and besides peasants requesting the British government to waive off the taxes and the revenues, the British government never did that. So this led to an agitation, and there were a series of peasant uprisings which happened in India. So, for example, the number one we can say was Bardoli Satyagrah in 1928, in which Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel was the main leader, and in fact, he was given the title of Sardar by a woman in Bardoli that time. So, what was the issue of Bardoli Satyagrah? The British government has increased land revenue by 30%, which was too high. So, all the peasants came together and they protested to, abolish it or reduce it. So, in that, Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel, he played a major role. After that, if you see, there are many more rebellions which happened before this and after this also, like Indigo Rebellion, Mopla Rebellion, and one significant thing what happened after this rebellions was that All India Kisan Sabha was constituted, and then they brought out a Kisan manifesto in which they listed out that what things the a peasant wants from the British government, and what were they? They were reduction of land revenue because it was very high, and other taxes also. Because what was happening, the peasant already was suffering because of the economic depression. Then the increase in the land revenue, taxes and other taxes as well. So the peasant was totally crippled. Yeah, he or she was below so many heavy burden of those taxes, and they really wanted to come out of it. So in this, the journalists, they played a very, I must say, a major role in making the peasant movement more popular and widespread. Harish Chandra Mukherjee, he wrote in his paper known as Hindu Patriot about the plight of the peasants. Then the second person was Deembandhu Mitra, who wrote a play known as Neel Darpan, in which he described the agony and plight of the indigo workers and the farmers. So this way, these journalists also propagated the peasant movement in the country, and people came to know about it more. Then, when this All India Kisan Sabha was formed, so they elected, in that Swami Sahajananda was elected as the president, and N.G. Ranga, who was the pioneer of Kisan movement in Andhra, he was um, selected as a general secretary, and they started working towards the benefit of the peasant. And then they took out a Kisan manifesto, which was finalized um, by All India Kisan Committee session in Bombay, and then it was formally presented to the Congress Working Committee so that they incorporate it in their forthcoming manifesto in 1937 election. So this was, like I must say, it was a wave, all these Kisan movements which happened that time. And as I told you, there was this Bardoli Satyagraha, Champaran Satyagraha in 1917. Again, the ripple effect of that, Indigo Revolt, Mopla Rebellion. So, all over the country, some or the other activity was happening among the peasants. So, this entire uprising, which you can say it started in 1862, had a major impact in the 1930s and the 1940s.
वेल जैसे कि सभी लोग जानते हैं कि when we have some unrest, then farmers are definitely get more effect as compared to other, then the other communities follow, and this happens even in the modern India. But now I would like to ask you, when we are talking about Mughals, when we are talking about Khiljis and their repressive policies, and then we are talking about Britishers, because initially they were not, they were actually giving something, and later on they actually wanted to control this colony, which is India, which is, we say, Soni ki chiriya kind of thing, and that's why we have suffered in this whole process. Now the thing is, how what is the difference? Not a repression, but what is the difference between kind of jamidari system and the taxation on peasants, and the way Britishers has implemented all these policies, which has very bad effect on peasants.
See, when we see the Jamindari system, it was a type of a feudal system where there was a Jamindar who owned the lands and he took revenue from the farmers. Okay. Now, when Britishers came in, because agriculture was the main occupation at that time in India, so they thought that land revenue can be very, very beneficial and it will be very lucrative. So they formulated different type of land settlements like Jamindari land settlement, Ryotwari settlement, Mehelwari settlement, and through that they tried to control the peasant and the farmers. But none of them actually worked because the farmers understood that they were all very repressive. So that is the reason the voice is echoing, Kanchan.
Please continue.
Yeah. So the Indian peasants, they understood that the policies formulated by the British government were not for the Indian peasants because they formulated it only to earn very heavy revenue from the farmers so that they become rich. Their government gets more revenue. And it was very well portrayed in few of our Hindi cinema films like Do Bigha Zameen, in which Balraj Sahani is there. Then of late in Lagan, in which they showed the plight of the farmers. So the main difference, there is no difference between Jamindari and the uh, system set up by Britishers because Jamindari already existed because feudal system was very much there before the even Britishers came because from the time of from the time of Delhi Sultanate there were many reforms made by Sher Shah Sur and Alauddin Khilji that time, many agrarian reforms. So it was continuing, and even in Akbar's reign in the Mughal era, he also brought out some changes, which was this Mansabdari system. And then the Britishers, when they saw that model, they made few changes and they implemented their own thing on the farmers.
Now, when we talk about this peasant movement before independence, and what was the kind of practical approach, and there were any revolt, or they were non-cooperative, and that's one part of it. And second question, which I want to ask you, how the peasant movement has contributed to the independence of India?
Peasant movement definitely had contributed in a very big way, no doubt, because it united the peasant all across India. Number one. Number two, it awakened the peasant as well as the common man about the policies what the Britishers had made for the peasants and the other Indians. What was your another question, Kanchan?
Nine, what is the depiction? How they actually showed their dissatisfaction towards that type of that time of the government, which were Britishers.
Obviously, that's why this uprising happened. That they were very, very unhappy by all the hike in the taxes and the land revenue, and that's what gave them courage that if we don't fight now, then we can never do it. So that's why they all came together in different parts of India, not only in Uttar Pradesh or Bihar, but in Andhra, in Malabar region, in down south, everywhere, all the peasants, they revolt in Assam, they revolted in their own way. And then the Britishers got this message that they have to do some changes in their policies when it comes to the Indian peasants.
Well, as usual, we have discussed a very profound topic, and which is the peasant movement, which has a very much real relevance even today, not only in India but also around the world. And we look forward from our viewers any kind of comment or they want to add to this discussion. We'll be happy to answer them, or any knowledge they want to share with our expert as well as the viewers. So as usual, Mitaji, thank you very much for discussing this topic. And
Definitely.
so we had been discussing this into this historical reflection episode. We discussed about the Peasant Uprising and how the effect was there when we talk about Indian independence movement. So this is the Saturday edition. We will be meeting again next Saturday with more profound topic. And I look forward all of you to send across your comments and your queries. If any, we have an expert, they will be answering, she will be answering to you. So see you on next Saturday. Till then, have a nice time ahead. Bye bye.